The Rothmans Rally of New Zealand, 1991. The rally started in great style last night with a publicity stage in Auckland around the Epsom showgrounds. The big crowd caved for excitement and the competitors gave it to them. Although he's the top seed, Carlos Sainz was 2 seconds down on the pace after the first stage. In this rally, that could count heavily. A last-minute dash from the Auckland Wharf saw a group of Japanese entrants make the rally by the skin of their teeth, and everybody cooperated to make sure they made it.
Should only be a few minutes. Good. Right. How long have we got? It's been 8 o'clock for about the last 20 minutes. Don't worry about it.
This morning saw the start of the rally proper. In miserable conditions, the competitors headed out of Parc Ferme and south from Auckland. But despite the weather, the competitors were looking forward to putting months of planning into practice.
What's your technique once you get into the forest?
Flat out.
Flat out all the way.
As fast as the little car will go.
And that was the last we'll hear from Ray Wilson. He blew his motor and ended his rally before the first stage of the day. Even in the wet, slippery conditions, it didn't take long for the leaders to get on the pace. As expected, Sainz in the Toyota Celica GT4 and Kakunen in the Martini Lancia were the pace setters. Surprisingly, Alain in the Subaru was third. Kakunen's teammate Oriol was having trouble adapting to the slippery conditions and could place only 9th in this stage. However, Carlson in the Mazda revelled in the conditions to set 4th fastest time with teammate Millen close behind. The conditions were atrocious. Mist and rain reduced visibility to almost 0. Alain was still on his maximum attack. He equalled Kakunen to place 2nd fastest on this stage. As the leaders headed into the first of 2 regroups for the day, Sainz held a slim 5-second advantage over Kakunen. Alain's charge through the mist had paid off. He was now 3rd. Surprisingly, Carlson held 4th, while the first local was Possum Bourne in 7th place.
Possum, first resident Kiwi on the road. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, that's a good start, that's for sure.
With only 8 seconds separating them, Bourne and Dunkerton had resumed their Trans-Tasman tussle from last year. Stage 4, and Alain continues to charge at the leaders. Also on the attack, Oriol was equal fastest with Sainz on this stage. On the longest stage of the day, Sainz pulled out all the stops to take 12 seconds off Kakunen. Kakunen seemed to have no answer to the Spaniard in these conditions. Oriol's attack on Sainz came to nothing. Fracturing a rear brake pipe, he finished this stage on front brakes alone. At last, Kakunen had some luck. A wrong tyre choice by Sainz let him win back 7 seconds. The tight and twisty stage didn't suit the legacy, and try as he might, Alain dropped further behind. With his rear brakes now fixed, Oriol charged again and won the stage. This stage was to see the end of the rally for Carlson. Shortly after this, he unbelievably ran out of petrol and dropped 40 places. That put the pressure onto Millen to fly the flag for Mazda. His consistency paid off to place him 5th overall. Dunkerton didn't have a happy morning, but he got into his stride to be 4th fastest on the stage. His luck further improved since his Trans-Tasman rival Bourne blew the Subaru's turbo, dropping him out of the rally. Allport moved up to first Kiwi, but his stay there was to be short-lived. Further up the road, he punctured and lost 4 minutes. All the mayhem amongst the New Zealanders paid off for Brian Stokes. He finished the stage first Kiwi. Kakunen still trying to peg back Sains. The man on the move is Dunkerton. He's now lying 5th. The pressure is on and Sains is trying. So is Kakunen. Oriole's now 3rd overall. Rod Millen in the surviving Mazda has dropped to 6th. Neil Allport's fixed his puncture, but he's got a lot of time to make up. The Group N story today has been entirely different. It's been anything but close. The Finn Tommy Markinen has easily walked away from the rest of the field. The only driver remotely within striking distance has been the current Australian Rally champion, Ed Ordinsky. The Finn Tommy Markinen leads Group N, followed by the Australian Rally champion Ed Ordinsky. The first of the Japanese in 5th place is Yoshio Fujimoto. Sains still leads, but a combination of pressure and weather was starting to show as he updated his position.
In the official times, 22:22, and all the time is the same. Here, first it was 18:22, now 18:44. I don't understand.
He's well up towards Sains, but Kakunen was not looking too happy either. This has been very hard work. Marco Alain made it, but a lot of the field didn't. Stage 10, the second of the night stages. Sains continued to hold the lead, but his margin was getting slimmer. All day, Kakunen has relentlessly kept the pressure on the Spanish champion, and the gap can still be measured in seconds. The late afternoon stages did not suit Alain, and he dropped well over a minute behind the leaders. By the end of the day, Sains led by a narrow 19 seconds. Oriole has moved to 3rd, and Dunkerton has moved to 5th.
I've been covering this event for something like 20 years, and this is about the worst day I can remember. It's been bitterly cold, wet, generally thoroughly unpleasant for everybody. Mind you, it hasn't kept the spectators away. I can't remember, too, so many cars being out on the first day, something like 11. And of course, we've lost Possumbourne and Ray Wilson. A real tragedy. Tomorrow, we hit the real rough stuff. Boy, I hope the weather's better then. We'll see you tomorrow.